Chat, why am I streaming at this ungodly hour? I doubt even people will watch. I may have like 20 viewers, which is going to be a lot. What am I doing with my... Why can't I stream normally? Why can't I stream when people are awake? But at least I see names in the chat that I haven't seen in a long while, like Coldest Beer. I see meh every single day, so it's not unusual. I see Meh every time I stream. Like whether I stream in the morning, whether I stream at night, Meh is there. He's with me. We do got some interesting topics though, so we can talk about those. It's not Sunday. Of course it's not Sunday, but it's Nancy Pelosi. I mean, you know, like she mixes it up every now and then. It's actually a joke regarding her being asked if she's going to impeach the president yet again. And she's like, good morning, Sunday morning. That's the joke. Welcome, Sarah. Yes, Sunday. Damn it, today it's Saturday. I will have to go to bed because when I wake up, I'll probably have to get ready for the Archcast. Arch is playing Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. That's an LGBT game, isn't it? Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. Why does Arch like these types of... Why can't he play something normal? Why can't he play Street Fighter like normal people? Why does he play Mountain Blade Bannerlord? Good morning, Tony. I see you're a member. Thank you for your membership. It's too far early in the morning? It is. It's 6 a.m. And after this, I'm going to go to bed. Alright, I want to talk about something interesting. This is fascinating to me. Maybe you guys can elucidate what's transpiring here. Just give me a second so I can put it on the screen. Alright, it's called... End Wokeness is the Twitter account. This is one of like... how should I put it so that I don't violate the terms of service? Because I would be called the violator. This person is difficult to suffer. Can I say insufferable? Is it... Actors are honestly, they're competing with like who can have like the most insufferable take. I thought that Peter Dinklage is one of the worst for kicking the ladder down for other people that suffer from dwarfism, from getting roles in movies. He was like, oh, well, it's high time that Disney learns the blah, blah, blah. This is after he became a millionaire, right? So I felt like he's number one. And then he also said, oh, the reason people didn't like Game of Thrones is because they didn't like the ending. They expected the pretty white people to fly off into the sunset. He is a pretty white person, and he did survive Game of Thrones. But apparently, right, this is Peter Dinklage. So now we have a competitor. A new warrior has entered the ring. Can someone be more obnoxious? Yes. Listen to this.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again.
So this grown-ass woman, okay, this grown-ass woman, which is playing Snow White, and by the way, like she did something that I do like. She joined the writer's strike. Honestly, actors joining the writer's strike probably hurt the writers most than anything else that happened. And she was like, well, I am on a set for 10 hours. I deserve to be paid in millions. And I'm like, okay, well, first of all, do you even care if your movie sold? Probably not. But secondly, there's like hundreds of thousands of other women wanting to take your place. So, you know, if you don't like it, you don't have to take the job. Just saying. But like, okay, so this is this person who apparently is a grown-ass woman and she was scared by Snow White the cartoon. Like, I never heard anyone else being scared of a cartoon, which to me signalizes the fact that she is acting right now. Like, she's saying the talking points, she's reading the prompter. You know, the only time she wasn't acting is when she said that she wants more money. I believe her. Like, that's the only thing I believe her. But everything else is such a fucking lie, isn't it? Like, you want to tell me that you as a child were scared of Snow White. Alright.
Like, I'm being so serious. I watched
Yeah, you're sure. You're absolutely
it once, and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was...
What if I, you know, like, this is what pisses me off, how disconnected the talking points are from reality. Again, I don't believe that she's actually saying these things. But, like, when I was a kid, I loved scary things. You know, the Addams Family, Beetlejuice. Like, I loved going into amusement parks and, like, go to the scariest rides and stuff. Like what on earth is she talking about? Like, as a kid, it's scary. Like, children like being scared. I wanted to watch horror movies and my parents wouldn't let me. God, this is just so disconnected from reality.
Terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years when I was doing this film. I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not.
I love how she says we wrote. You didn't write shit, you're acting. Right, like, but anyway, right, so she's not saved by the prince.
She's gonna be saved by the prince, and she's...
Yeah, you know, why is it that in Ukraine, the women aren't saving the men? I mean, why is it that on the front line, you still see the men that are trying to keep the Russians from invading? I mean, it's 2023, right? You know, I watched Disney, and I know that women are very powerful. I mean, I saw Mulan. Mulan just went there and BTFO'd those soldiers by herself. I expect to see that in the real world, goddammit, because this is what the academics have told me, that movies are going to influence the real world. So why don't we see that in the war zone? Why don't we see, like, the men taking a step back, you know, going all the way in other countries, in France, in the UK, in Poland, doing OnlyFans, doing like other things, and the women should take up arms and defend their country because, like, they don't need no seven. Unironically, when I was a kid, I said this story before. I grew up with Xena, Warrior Princess, and Buffy, Vampire Slayer, and what was it? Cleopatra, 25, a lot of strong women, right? And I was at law school, and one of my teachers, she was a woman, she was a judge, and she was experiencing probably the most difficult month of her life because, like, someone broke into her house. And she didn't know whether or not, like, it has to do with a case or it was just some robber. It was probably just some robber, like someone broke into her house to steal stuff. But, you know, when you're a judge, you're really scared because, like, you never know. It's like, is it like someone seeking retribution for a case? They hurt her dog and stuff, right? So, like, she was telling how she's afraid to sleep at night. And I'm like, well, why don't you take karate lessons? Why don't you take karate lessons? Because you know, like, you can be, you know, Warrior Princess going, ah, la, 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 la. And for some reason, everyone was laughing at me. And I'm like, why? You know, like, this is what, like, unironically, I didn't know. Like, I'm not even kidding. Unironically, like, you know, a person that, like myself, was very introverted. I stood in house most of the time. I didn't go out. And I grew up with these American movies. And in the American movies, it showed me that women can beat the fuck out of men. No problem. Hands behind their back. And I was like, well, why can't you do it? I mean, right? Not to mention, like, the whole thing about equality and stuff. It's like, well, why don't you do it? Like, well, what do you have me to feel sympathy? Like, train yourself. Train your mind and body like they did in Karate Kid. And did you not watch Karate Kid? Like, do the crane. Do the crane if someone comes into your house. And, you know, like, the smugness of it all, like, you said something intelligent. It's like, oh, well, it's 2023, so we can't have romance anymore, because that's what it fucking means, you know, the woman getting rescued by the prince. Oh, horrible. I know. To be fair, Disney has been rewriting grim fairy tales for decades. This is nothing new. Yeah, but, like, when they rewrote them, like, dude, that is, okay. When they rewrote them, they didn't rewrite them in order to fit with the time period or shit like that. They rewrote them for two reasons. Like, number one, they literally wouldn't be allowed to be on television, right? Because back then, you couldn't show blood, you couldn't show, like, sexual themes. So they had to rewrite them in order for them to be aired. And secondly, they maintained the spirit of the actual thing. Like, if you look at Snow White, I don't even know if that one is I think it is rewritten, yes, because I think, like, there is a part where the queen calls for the hunter to kill Snow White, and he brings the queen the heart of a deer or something like that, you know? And obviously, like, that would be way too graphic to show on Saturday morning TV, where the hunter actually kills a deer and pulls the beating heart out of the animal and takes it to the queen. right? So like I would understand why they would change that, because if they didn't change that, you wouldn't be able to have it on television at all, right? Beauty and the Beast. In Beauty and the Beast, you have like the king going to the tower. He has sexual intercourse with the Sleeping Beauty, like she doesn't wake up. And then like the pain of her childbirth, right? Because she gets pregnant, and the pain of her childbirth wakes her up. You can't have this in a kids show on TV, right? Like I get it. I get it. It is metal. I know, like most of these fairy tales that existed in the medieval time are very metal. Incredibly so. Cinderella, for example. The sisters of Cinderella, they cut off their foot in order to try to get the slipper to fit in, right? And there's blood and stuff, and then they die. And the punishment as well, I think, like for the stepmom, like they use some iron sandals. They heat them up until they're scorching hot, and they put them in her feet so she dances until she dies, right? So like I understand why Disney made those changes, okay? Because like you literally would not be able to have it on television. But the changes they are making now are unnecessary. They do not have to make them. And by making these changes, they remove romance. There is no more romance anymore. Someone should do those tales true to their origins. Yeah, I mean, if you were to make some of those tales true to their origin, it would horrify people. I genuinely, I always found it interesting, right? Because these were stories for children. Some of those stories were incredibly graphic. Like, they talk about sex, they talk about, I mean, in some cases, they even talk about rape, murder, a lot of blood and gore. Like, most of the time, the villain just dies painfully. And, you know, like, this shows that back in the medieval time period, at least, they had, like, a different standard. and it's interesting, because, like, the world was actually far more Christian then than it is now. Yeah, the world was rough and a tumble place. That was wholesome for 18th century, probably. A German tale. There was once a boy who didn't eat his vegetable. Thus, Kinderriken Hamzer came to the little boy and destroyed his testicles. The end. Is that a thing? That can't be a thing. I refuse to believe that's a thing. I wish historical movies empathize how much the old world smelled. Kinda. I mean, it depends. Like, if you were in a rural area, it probably smelled the same like if you were to go in a rural village now. There are some places, especially in Eastern Europe, where I would say that the rural villages look very similar to what you'd expect now. But, in the city, it probably smelled a lot of manure and horse shit. There was actually an entire industry dedicated on cleaning up manure. And that industry went away once the automobile became a thing. But yeah, like you would see horse shit on the streets quite often. And I believe like children would even pick it up because it was kind of valuable. Like you could make construction material out of it. At least in Romania it was called kirpich. I think like in combination with some chemicals, you make a very sticky substance. And you can build all sorts of things with it. I mean, well, the people in the Middle Age did. So, yeah, like, but other than that, I don't think it was that smelly unless you went next to an outhouse. Like, believe it or not, see, this is the misconception that a lot of people have about the medieval time period. Just because they weren't as technologically advanced as we are, doesn't mean that they weren't human beings. Human beings do not enjoy garbage, do not enjoy smell, right? So, like, just like us, they would try their best in order to maintain cleanliness and in order to maintain a sanitary environment. You can make a very sticky substance. I see. My grandma told me stories like these. Yeah, well, it's true. Kids were less childish. Yes, absolutely. Kids were definitely less childish than adults are today. I mean, if you were on a farm, which most kids were, right? Like the rural area was actually the norm. You probably were born with a family of 5 or 6 other kids. And it was like the oldest brother that had to take care of his younger siblings. Like you had to change their diapers, you had to wash them, bathe them, feed them, do all sorts of things. Feed the animals, go with the cow. Like that was something that a lot of kids had to do. Like take the cows out for grazing and that type of shit. So like, yeah, you had responsibilities. Like ever since you grew up, you were expected to be a man. Like I think like the moment you started speaking, you already had like some responsibilities. And the more you grew up, the more responsibilities you'd get. So yeah, I mean, those people back then were a lot more not just responsible, but they were a lot more mature than most than most grown people are today. I made perfume that is actually just skunk extract. You see, I'm subverting your expectations. Now pay me. That is such a good quote. Yeah, that's literally what they're doing. The problem is, like, I don't remember the last romantic movie that came out of Hollywood. I don't know. Like, I don't think they can do it. I genuinely don't. Like, there is nothing. Like, if you want romance, you gotta go to anime. By the way, you know, like, someone pointed out something very interesting about anime. They do not have anything, like anime characters rarely have sex. Did you notice that? Meanwhile, if you look at, like, modern American movies, they, so not modern American movies, like slasher films or, you know, like American TV shows, they have sex for no fucking reason. Like, they usually, like, the characters have sex just to have sex, right? So like, that's one difference. I want you to think hard. Like, outside of hentai, how many times do anime characters have sex? Almost none. They rarely kiss as well. Right? Now imagine, like, how much times they kiss in the American movies and American TV shows. So like, this is why they compensate with a lot of flirting, and they have, like, some fan service every now and then. But how the fuck can the Westerner call that the anime is more perverted? How? Like, when you have your slasher films, right? When it's about of teenagers that go in a camp and they get slashed and it's gory and stuff, and they also have, like, sexual things, and right? Like, you have that culture, and you have the audacity to look at the Japanese and be like, oh my god, yeah, you're so disgusting, blah, blah, blah. I generally, like, don't fucking understand. Like, maybe someone can explain it to me. There's tons of sex in anime outside of hentai? I don't think so. I mean, like, okay, let's see. Naruto, I don't think there is any. My Hero Academia has none. Dragon Ball has none. Attack on Titan has none. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, there are a couple. I'm not saying, like, that. Okay, the Death Note has none. My Future Diary has none. So like, in which ones are you talking about? I'm not saying, like, it doesn't exist, alright? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, there are anime where there is sex scenes in it. But, like, overwhelmingly, in most animes that I watch, which are the most popular ones, you don't find it. Unless you're watching hentai. Okay, if you're watching hentai, yeah, sure. But, like, outside of that, you don't really get it. Goblin Slayer. Okay, Goblin Slayer is one. And apparently they were livid about it, right? Legacy of the Shield Hero has none. Jobless Reincarnation does have. Yes. There are a couple. I'm not saying, like, that it doesn't exist. Like, please listen to what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's rare, right? Like, compare now if you were to compare with, let's say, modern American TV shows, right? If you look at modern American TV shows or even modern American movies, they have sex scenes for no fucking reason. They just don't even need to be there. The Last of Us 2 is a perfect example. The Abby sex scene doesn't even need to be in that game. It doesn't serve any purpose. It doesn't serve character growth. It comes out of nowhere. There's no romance. There's no, like, no, nothing. It's just there for no fucking reason. Wouldn't that Dragon Pilot anime be basically porn to you? No. There was a sex scene in the original Street Fighter anime. Yeah. Like, back in the day, they were a lot more open about it. But, like, anyway. What is the one with Aqua? Konosuba. Konosuba doesn't have it. Anyway.
She's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Every single human being wants to be loved. Okay? Like, literally. You can want to be a leader and also be loved. Why do they imply that they need to make a choice? Like this is what we talked about on TikTok, right? Like the idea that men and women aren't there to compete with each other, but they're there to complete eeach other. And you have like these chuckleheads at Hollywood trying to go like, nope. You need to join the corporation. Like, unless you sit in a cubicle and you become a number, and that's when you are liberated, right? Like, when you work at a corporation as a number, that's when you're liberated, and then you're reminded that your 5 minutes break is over. But if you have the audacity to, like, be a stay-at-home mom and be in the kitchen, that is the patriarchy. You're being chained. You need the Barbie to kidnap you, to brainwash you into realizing that you need to rise up against the Kentriarchy. It is so disgusting, isn't it? Like, it's such on a surface. Like, who doesn't want to be loved? Like, these are movies for children, right? So you want little daughters to believe that true love isn't important. Is that what you want, right? Like you benefited from that in your childhood, but now you want to take it away from other people. You believe that true love is something evil. And I noticed that Disney is having this theme now. Like, they're constantly running with it since Frozen. Right, so Frozen is the first one where they're basically saying that true love doesn't exist, and that love is only between like two women, which is like the sisterly love type of thing. Then they had it in in Sleeping Beauty. It was like, well, true love doesn't exist. Like, no prince managed to wake her up, and it's just like the motherly love. Like, again, like the love between two women. That's the only one that exists. Now they're doing it in Snow White. Like, they literally do not believe that there can be love between a man and a woman. That's the theme that they are pushing, and they're pushing it so fucking hard, it's not funny. And they're wondering, it's like, why is it that over 10 million people unsubscribe from their shit?
And the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see.
No, it's absolutely not. I firmly disagree.
Themselves in.
No.
Why would I want to see myself in a story where true love doesn't exist? Why? You know, like, you can do a lot of things, and you can buy a lot of things. You can't buy true love, though. Like, that is special. I'm sorry, that is the old Disney magic that you're trying to erase. Just because you're under the same corporation doesn't mean that you're going to produce the same value.
White is running for president.
I'm launching my campaign.
I mean, look how bad it is. Look how bad it is. Like people are pointing it out, right? Immersion breaking as fuck. So this is the queen, which is the evil queen, and she is supposed to be jealous of Snow White, which, again, unless you're picking a white woman that has anemia, like she doesn't have red blood cells, then you don't look the part. I'm sorry. An albino person could also work, right? So, like, there's that woman from I think it's called Antwerp, like the Antwoord. They made the Chappie the movie, right? So, like, the lady is albino. Yeah, like she can fit into the role of Snow White. I would be happy without breaking immersion. So they're like casting this, right? Instead of the dwarves, they're going to cast the... Honestly, like, these are colonizers. I don't know how else to call them, but they're literally colonizers. Like they go to something that's already created, that they had absolutely no hand in making it, and now they're colonizing it with their culture. Like, they're imposing their culture upon the thing. It's literally what it is. They're not even tourists. The tourists are the critics. These are the colonizers. I'm really curious. Like what I want to know is, in 20 years from now or 30 years from now or whatever, when people are going to have their own kids and they're going to sit down with little Jimmy or you know, little Billy, and they're going to watch Snow White, are they going to watch this Snow White or are they going to watch the classic? I'm really curious if anyone is going to, like, rewatch these remakes again. Like even you, because the thing is, like, I grew up with both, right? So, like, I saw Aladdin, and I saw Aladdin the remake. I saw Beauty and the Beast, and I saw Beauty and the Beast the remake. I can't think of any where I would rather watch the remake than the original. And I'm genuinely wondering, like, how many do they have left? They must run out at some point. And when they run out, what do they do? Do they make, like, cartoons of the remakes again? Like, what do they get? They get Tarzan. I'm pretty sure they're not going to touch that shit for obvious reason. Pocahontas. Oh my fucking god. Like, Pocahontas is going to be so social justice-y. It's not even funny. No White and the 7 Not Dwarves. Yes, pretty much. The 7 Reddit moderators. I love that. Okay, so, Pocahontas. Yeah, I think that one is going to come. And it's going to be absolutely horrible. Like, they're going to cast, like, probably the most ugly female character lead possible. The whole message with Pocahontas was that they both viewed each other as non-human. Like, that was, like, the whole thing. They're going to make it that, no, actually, the American Indians, they were 100% in the right. They never had any conflict whatsoever. They live in perfect harmony with nature. And all white people are bad. It's not just their leader, right? It's like all of them are bad. Probably what we're going to see. So yeah, what else do they have? Hunchback of Notre Dame. I have no idea how they're going to fuck that one up. They will probably, again, like, cast a very ugly female character as the lead. Like, probably the worst one possible. And they're going to make the Hunchback black, but or actually no, I don't think so. They're going to make the love interest black, definitely, right? Like, they have to race swap something, otherwise they don't get the movie greenlit. Like, if they don't race swap something, they don't feel good about themselves. Like, how can you know they're not racist unless they're swapping a character? So yeah. Is there any other cartoon that we missed? Hunchback will be gay? No, I don't think so. Like, like, if it's a gay character, it has to be perfect. Because it's representation, right? Like, if the writer suggests that the gay character has any flaw, then the writer must think that all gay people are like that. So they can't do it. Esmeralda will be a black man. No, Esmeralda will be a black woman. I guarantee you. Like, I guarantee you. She's not even going to be, like, of Roma ethnicity. They're going to make her black. Like an actual black actress is going to play her. Esmeralda was a gypsy, right? Like, it was in the story, so... no, the Jungle Book is already made. Sword of the Stone, I've never seen that. Lilo and Stitch is happening, yes. Apparently, like, that's what's funny. They race swapped the character, and the character wasn't dark-skinned enough, and people complained. Like, it goes to show that the reverse is never allowed. Like, you can never race swap a character in reverse. Like, making a person of color white, like, that is haram, sinful. You're going to burn in hell for all eternity. But, like, making white characters into black characters, heavily encouraged. Also, something that I noticed, they don't, they want diversity, but they never, like, race swap white characters or black characters into Asians. Like, that is just very bizarre, right? You're never going to see, like, a female white character being made into an Asian woman. I don't know why. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Lady and the Tramp. Jesus fucking Christ. Well, they can't race swap anything there, so. Yeah, except for the Tibet. The thing with Tibet, like, my God, like, these people are so obnoxious, right? Because they think that the audience is made out of morons. So like, in order to get the Doctor Strange movie to air in China, they couldn't have, like, the Tibetan master, because the Tibetan master is something that the Chinese government would have banned, right? So they made, like, a bold white woman be the master of Doctor Strange, which is fine, you know, whatever. People on the internet started complaining about whitewashing. Like, immediately they started complaining about it. And what ended up happening is that the director said, I'm so sorry. Oh, like, I apologize. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, like, it's one of the things that I regret. I regret for casting that. I'm so sorry, so sorry. And you're thinking, like, motherfucker, you're not sorry. You took the money and ran. You knew exactly what you're doing. You're not sorry one single fucking bit. You didn't even, like, gender swap and race swap this character because, like, you thought that it's a good idea. You did it to appease China, right? And now that China is appeased, you're going to throw everyone under the bus. Let me check to see if I got any super chats. By the way, the super chats that you guys give me go for the development of the game. Speaking of my game, though, I want a pixel artist. Do I have any pixel artist in the chat? Do we have pixel? If you're a pixel artist, let me know. If you make pixels, I may have work for you. So contact me on Twitter if you make pixels. I need pixels. Anyway, right. Pixels are important. Do you know it's like a dying art? It's almost like no one makes pixel characters anymore. 101 Dalmatians, they fucking did that, didn't they? Like, they made Cruella be the hero of the tale. It's so interesting. Oh, the one, oh my god, they're going to remake The Lady and the Frog at some point. Holy shit, like that one is going to be a shit show. She's probably going to have like the frog lecture the main character about systemic racismus. Yeah, just use AI. I don't even think like you can use AI for pixel. And not to mention, like I want pixel animation, like frame by frame shit. So the AI probably can't do that very well. Live action CGI for Lady and the Tramp. Oh god. Frog will be black guy. That would be immersion breaking because like he is part of royalty. Like that's his whole thing, right? Like he is part of a royal household. And he goes to America. So like if you tell me that a black person is part of royalty, I will ask, okay, which family? Like what royal family from Europe does he come from? Where does he stem from? They're going to remake Princess and the Frog, but it's going to be modern day. Oh shit. Yeah, like I didn't think about that. They can always do like what they did with the 101 Dalmatians. My god, these people, like they just destroyed, don't they? Like I wonder if like at one point they sit down and they think, okay, well, let's imagine something that's going to be popular with the audience. Like let's think of something that would actually sell. But they don't. They don't. And I will show you something else that they made, which is God. Do you know what this is? This is Pokemon. I'm not kidding. This is Pokemon. Discover your own. Alongside Ava in the new original animated series, Pokemon Path to the Peak. Is there even anything that I can say at this point that... Like, it's tiring, isn't it? It's very tiring. It's like... Nothing I say right now would be something that hasn't already been said. Yeah. Pokemon. And by the way, it's not about... well, that's not even the good thing about Pokemon. I haven't told you the best part. So, the best part is that it's Pokemon, but without the pocket monsters. It's around like Pokemon, the card game. Politically Defiant, welcome. I haven't seen you in a long time. A lot of the live action remakes have been scrapped or put on hold due to the writer's strike. So, yay for greed, selfishness, self-censored, know-it-all snobs shooting themselves in the foot. Why do they need writers for them, though? Like, literally, why the fuck do they need writers? This is what I don't understand. Like, you already have the script from the original. Like, you don't really need, like, a high, big brain writer. I thought that was the whole shtick. I thought that this is why they pay the writers less. Because they don't fucking need them. The script is there. Like, you just gotta take, like, the original and make it with actors. And that's it. My son is 16 and is starting to make games for fun. I don't think he's ready to help you out yet, but we both want to see your game. Yeah, unfortunately, if your son is 16, I cannot work with him. I think like Romanian law would allow, after the age of 14 with parental consent, you can like commission something, but due to the nature of what I am making, definitely no. I'm so far behind I can play games without concern of the woke. That's kind of cool if you just started playing video games and you start playing like the shit that comes out from the 90s. But yeah, so for the people that just joined, I do want a pixel artist. If you're good at making pixel art, contact me. No one remembers the writer's strike in the 2000s. I do. I remember the writer's strike in 2000. It was the one that paused Stargate. I was watching Stargate and all of a sudden there were no episodes. And because of the writer's strike, I believe it actually killed Stargate. Because like there were some problems with the IP and the studios were having financial difficulties. No, I do remember the writer's strike in 2000s. What are you talking about? Here is your fair cut fund donation, sir. Thank you, Cryptic. I was afraid that I'm not going to make anything this stream and I'm going to end up like DSP, just being upset about it. But no, it's good. I do make streams to entertain people, so even if I don't get anything, it's fine. I'll probably get it the next day. But yeah, so it's a new show, Pokemon. You know what's interesting about this Pokemon? I watched one episode. I gotta say, it's actually good. So all right. This girl is going to play trading card games with this guy, and I was expecting that she will dominate him, because, like, you know, she's a woman. But no, he actually beats her, right? And then she goes on, trains, tries to become better, they form a friendship and shit. So, the actual cartoon isn't that bad. And then I'm thinking, like, why isn't it bad, right? And you realize, okay, so they saved a lot of money on the production. Like, they use, like, this very cheap animation, like this cheap Facebook recycled meta universe type of VR shit, which is very cheap to make. Like literally anyone can draw it and animate it. And the reason for this is that the whole cartoon is about selling you a product. It's about selling you the Pokemon trading card games, right? That's what they're trying to accomplish. It's a commercial masked as a cartoon. It's sponsored content, right? So it shows that when it's sponsored content, when they want to sell you something, oh, they actually know how to make a story. They actually know how to make something wholesome, right? Like what is disguised as like you purchasing stuff from them, they know what to sell. But when it's actual entertainment, when it's actually have to be entertainment, you get the message. There is no message in here, you know, except the fact that you may say, well, there's too much diversity. But, like, I don't mind. It's like, it's fine. You know, like, because these are original characters. So, like, if it's original characters, I don't give a fuck. Why is his lips like that? Isn't this problematic? Whatever. Is she wearing makeup at this age? That's not cool. Anyway, right. It derailed, but then MacGyver gave up. Man, it's so weird to see MacGyver so old now. Jesus. I think I want to watch Lost again. Okay, I got a task for you guys. So, there's this picture from Baldur's Gate showing a female gnome getting a blowjob from a dark elf. And this is in the game, by the way. Like, this is... You can actually play with this. So, the game doesn't have an adult-only rating. Okay? I want to remind people that back in the day, GTA had like a coffee game. Like the hot coffee game. That one gave it an adult-only rating, right? So now, like, you get this. You get, like, this little midget, which is actually a goblin or a halfling or whatever. And he's doing oral sex with a elf. And this is in the game. This is allowed. I have seen it on Twitch. Okay. Now, here's my task for you. You're making the new Saran Kagura title, right? You're making an anime game. And you have to... Like, knowing what Baldur's Gate 3 did, you have to make the arguments to the ESRB not to make it AO only, and you have to make the arguments to Sony to not make it AO only, and you want to have a similar scene, like from Baldur's Gate. Actually, you know what? You want to make Baldur's Gate 3 the anime, and it's got, like, really beautiful and sexy anime waifus, and you have to make the argument now for the ESRB not to ban you. What would you say? How would you go around on doing it? Hmm? I'll tell you what happened. They bribed the ESRB. There is no other fucking explanation. Like, the only thing that makes any sense is that they have actually bribed the ESRB and they have bribed Sony. Like, they must have pushed money under the table. No, see, like, the thing is, like, if you have LGBT representation in anime, it doesn't count. Because, like, the characters are still beautiful. So, like, they will still ban it. They don't like it. Like, if it's beautiful, they hate it. Everything that's beautiful, like, they say they don't know what beauty is, they ask you to define it, but for some fucking reason, even though they can't define it, they know what it is, and they ban it. You could actually use AI to make these little scenes into anime. If you make them in anime, they get banned. I am willing to bet on Twitch the game is allowed, but if you make it anime style, if you reproduce the scene, even the one with the bear, if you make it anime style, they will ban your ass. Beautiful characters added representation. Oh my fucking god! Did you see the way they made April in the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Hold on, like, holy shit! Like, it gets really scary when you realize just how racist these people are. Cause the thing is, like, man, I go around forums, you know, like I go on 4chan, I go on places where right wingers gather and stuff like that. So it's not that foreign to me. Demo Shukushi. The main issue is that the right-wingers who are racist aren't as racist as the left. You know, it's like when they say the left are the real racist, man. No. No. Like, these people are capable of such racismus that even actual racists would be astonished. Like they should start a PhD. A university where you get to learn on how to be a racist. From the best. Because, like, most people just can't be racist like that on their own. So I've tried to find the article, but fuck, I can't find it, and it's so annoying. It basically shows how they designed April from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let me see if I can find it on Google. April, TMNT. See, even Google is ashamed of her. Yeah, even Google doesn't show you. Even Google is ashamed of this. Basically, like, they had the most ugly depiction of the character that has ever been made. Like she literally looks bad. Like, from any point of view, she is off. And the writer says we wanted to ground her in reality. So basically, when the writer looks at black people, they see that caricature that they drew. which is like incredibly disrespectful. And by the way, like I want to point out that you don't even need to make her sexy, because this is like something that people don't understand, like Americans don't understand. It's like, oh, so you want to cum. No, but like you can actually make her wholesome. I mean, look, this is a depiction of April as a fucking turtle, right? Doesn't have any boobs, doesn't have any tits, and she looks wholesome, like she's cute. Why can't we have that? Why is it like it needs to be something that I want to gouge my eyes out when I look at it? Like, this is just cute. This is adorable. Yes, it's for a kid's show. Like, kids should look at adorable things. Like, when I was a kid, I liked to see the things like this. Why do we make cartoons into something that turns into child abuse? Like, if I was a kid today and I had to watch all the Steven Universe crap, it would be abuse. I'd be like, mother, what are you doing to me? Stop it. Seriously, like imagine if you're a kid today and you are forced to watch this. Like all the cartoons that are coming out. Like, believe it or not, kids actually do know what's good and what isn't. Like they actually do know. It's like, okay, well, this cartoon is good, this cartoon is shit. Omega Tao, thanks for the just some guy drama. Discovered a new YouTube channel called the Aristocratic Stencil. The other vegans might enjoy. He just hit 20,000 subscribers. Yes, he leached off me and then messaged me thanking me for the subscribers. I didn't mean the drama. Like, he came at me. I just did. I don't go after other content creators. Like, very rarely does it happen. Usually they come after me and then I just make video responses. I don't even. But like the thing that I genuinely don't understand, right? And this is what, like, if just some guy responded to me again, I would have probably just made one last response and then never acknowledge. But like, cause I don't want him to lose subs, you know. I don't want other YouTubers to fight with each other because of the like the algorithm is against us, the corporations are against us. So it's like, no, just leave me alone. But it was fun, I'm not gonna lie. You know, I didn't want him to lose subs, but like it was fun because I missed it. I mean, I come from the video response age of YouTube. I'm like a veteran at this shit. You know, like I was having fun doing the video responses, but I could see that he wasn't. So it's like, why are you doing this then? Just stop it. Like, you don't have to. Jeff is not. Don't trust the bitch. Has a great scene where James Vander Beek thought his father was MacGyver, hence his name James Vander Den Anderson. I didn't know that. That's interesting trivia. Yosagi Yojimbo, the bunny was king. What? I didn't get the last one. Yeah. Tomorrow is Archcast. Shit. I should get ready. Should also remind people that I'm looking for a pixel artist. Don't let them get you down. I mean, I'm not down. It's just like, I realized life has become very boring. Okay? There's no good music to listen to. I mean, people will come up with examples. When I say there's no good music, I mean, like, there's no good music coming up now. You know, like, there's no, like, oh, this album came out yesterday and it's really great, you should listen. Okay? So there's no good music. There's no good TV shows. Again, like, things that are ongoing, like, right now. Don't tell me about a TV show that is, like, from 5 years ago. I don't care. I probably seen it already, alright? There's no music, there's no TV shows, there's no movies, there's no video games, there's like nothing. Nothing that's coming out that's entertaining. There's like nothing to do. Nothing to do except work. Maybe this is like what they're trying to do, you know? Like get the population to work constantly, like be pack mules, be good corporate slaves. Like when you get home, you don't get any entertainment. Yeah, everything is frozen in stasis. Unironically. Like I genuinely think that this is going to be called the dark age of entertainment. Because people in the future, they're going to look back at this time period and they're going to be, well, nothing really came out during that time. That is innovation. I mean, AI is innovation, right? Oh, a turtle character. I didn't even know about it. You need to see Oppenheimer. Is it really that good? I mean, it's... I guess. Maybe. I just hope One Piece can survive its Netflix adaptation. Like, you're more worried about the anime than the adaptation being good. That's funny. Baldur's Gate is actually a good game. But it's interesting that... Okay, so Baldur's Gate, I've played it. It has so many cool mechanics. Like, it's an RPG, but, like, you get so much freedom. So, like, if you play a rogue, in most RPGs, like, the rogue just does damage. You know, he's like a melee class. Just goes there and, you know, you swing your blade and maybe you do some sneak attacks or some shit. But that's pretty much it, right? That's what it is. In this game, the rogue can actually do cool stuff. Like, it can jump, and now you're having high ground, and while you have high ground, you can actually fire arrows down below. You can do like so many cool things. You can pick up a weapon and improvise it. So like if you kill the goblin, you can pick up the goblin and swing with it. Like it allows you to have like these custom role plays, and it's got like so many cool game mechanics. But all the journalists talk about is the sex. Like I would think that Baldur Gate 3 is a porn game based on what the journalists are talking about it. Just sex. And the reason I talk about it is because I'm looking at it from the perspective of, like, if this was an anime, you would ban it. I have nothing against the fact that Baldur's Gate allows all these sexual things. Like, that's fine. In fact, that's good. I like it. But, like, I don't get, like, why is it that if any other video game would do this, you would ban it and you would be against it? Like, why are you against Cammy getting her old costume back is what I want to know, right? Like, that really bothers you. But for some reason, having sex with the bear, that doesn't bother you at all. So I'm like, well, what is your morality? Well, why do you get to lecture to the masses then? Why do you get to preach? Vindel, accept we had a good run. Catch what you can and accept that the next gen is shite. Yeah, but like, you know, I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old. I'm going to become in my 40s soon. And I wonder, like, will I ever catch the Renaissance? Will I ever catch, like, when they will have good entertainment again? You know what I think, chat? I think that the people who are in charge of Disney, they know that everything is going to shit, so they're just going to just try to pump as much money as they can before they just open their golden parachutes and go away. Zoomers don't know what good entertainment is. No, Zoomers have anime. I think they know. Like, the thing is, when I was a kid, we had, like, Russian cartoons. Now, Russian cartoons were very cheap. They were highly political as well. And I knew that they're bad. Like, I was a kid. I was, like, I think, like, 4 or 5 years old. But the moment I saw, like, American cartoons, and we even had, like, some anime, like Sailor Moon and stuff, immediately I knew that the other cartoons are better. Again, I was a kid. I didn't really understand much about the story or the plot or anything. But I think it's like the politics in the Russian cartoons, they like bored me to death. I didn't understand them. I didn't care about them, right? And then when you watch like Centurions or Pirates of the Dark Water, well, every single second of that cartoon would keep me hooked. Like, it was, you know, I didn't understand the politics or anything. It was simply the fact that, yeah, like, all of this is meant for entertainment. And I liked it a lot more than watching Zayat's no Pagadi or some shit. I'm not saying that Zayat's no Pagadi is bad, by the way, but, like, a lot of the other cartoons besides it, like, had a lot of political messages. Like, there were cartoons that were trying to say that the United States is bad. And it's like, you know, like, you can't do that and get a kid to be entertained. You can't talk about how shit the US is and have, like, a 4-year-old just watching that and be like, oh, wow, this is so funny, tee-hee, ha-ha. No. I gotta say, though, like, Disney actually made the cartoons that were very racist against the Japanese during World War II. And those were funny and entertaining. But like, you wouldn't really understand when you were a kid. Like, you didn't even get what they were portraying. It's like, oh, look, the submarine blew up, and it's funny. That's pretty much what it was. V needs a word to make better movies. No, I think like a war makes good video games, but I don't think it necessarily makes good movies. I really hate war movies. Like, none of the war movies managed to like actually... Well, actually, there are a few. I should shut the fuck up. Saving Private Ryan, for example, like is a really good depiction of what the battlefield was like. Gargoyles. Oh my god, I missed that one. All right, I'm going to end the stream now because Jeff is going to become homeless. Like, he keeps giving money to me, and I actually do care about his wealth. Jeff, you need to hold a little bit for the future streams, okay? Like, don't blow all of your wad now. But anyway, right, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the super chats, and I'm going to go to bed now because it's getting really late, so yeah. Take care.